might not be a Messi or Ronaldo, but I feel like I was born to do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tez
You gotta have resilience, bro. Imagine going on stage, yeah, and you're trying to make people laugh, and no one's laughing. You know how much times I get, oh, my mum loves your comedy. What about you, bruv? Suffering, bro, like getting back late, getting up in the morning to work. That's all that grind that people don't see in it. That role, playing 8 in Man Like Mobeen, was just fit me like a glove, bro. What people don't see about comedy is how lonely it is. You just want the world to swallow you up. How old are you, bro?
I'm 26.
Fuck off. Could be uncle though.
You probably are.
Getting interviewed by kids and that.
I don't think any Asian parent expects their son or daughter to say that. You're gonna be a comedian.
Even now to this day, I don't think she's truly happy that I do this for a living.
Guys, welcome back to the CEOCAST, the #1 podcast for showcasing business and entrepreneurship. Now, before we go anywhere and get into this episode, over half of you who are watching this podcast right now aren't even subscribed. So I come to you today with a small favor. If you're a returning viewer or you enjoy this podcast at any moment, please press subscribe. A small action on your behalf that has such a huge impact here. The bigger the podcast gets allows us to improve production massively, have bigger and better guests on each time, and in return, hopefully helping you with your entrepreneurship journey by learning from these incredible guests. So join us on the CEO community and join us with these deep, powerful conversations that we have here on the CEOcast. I love all the support you guys show, and I love all the messages and comments that you guys leave. So thank you so much for subscribing. Now, without any further ado, let's get straight into this episode. Tez, welcome to the CEOcast, bro.
Brother Raheem, thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate you coming on here, bro. You're one of the first comedians on this podcast, which I think is going to be probably a funny, entertaining podcast, but also yet very inspiring for people watching this to see who maybe want to be future comedians and look at yourself for
bro, I hope not, man. There's too many comedians.
Is it?
Yeah, I hope. Don't be inspired by this. If anything, I want to uninspire people.
Uninspire people.
Yeah. I don't need the competition, bro. These young cats are too funny and too motivated, bro.
Yeah.
If anything, I want to uninspire people to do comedy.
Do you think like the likes of platforms such as TikTok and stuff like that have, you know, brought comedians out? You know?
Yeah, bro. Like when I'm a live comedian, innit? So like 90% of what I do is live on stage.
Yeah.
And that takes a certain kind of hustle and headspace and all that sort of stuff to do. And when I was starting out, there was no TikTok. Instagram was just in its infancy. It was like pre-video Instagram, when it was just about pictures and showing people that your life was better than theirs. It was before the video stuff. And even YouTube was in its infancy. Like you had like Hamza, Arshad, Diary of a Bad Man.
Yeah, big up Hamza.
And you had like maybe like Superwoman in Canada.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like they were the original ones in it, doing what they were doing, like sketches and stuff. But what's happened now is like, I couldn't have predicted it because I'm not one of those people who can like see into the future and like forecast what the trends are going to be, and that I'm not that guy. So what's happened now is just democratized comedy, first of all. And also it's opened it up to a whole new level of playing field where like people from all over the world connecting with each other. Like you're watching some kid in Brazil, literally, like taking shots and then celebrating like a madman. Yeah. And then you see him next month and he's meeting Ronaldinho. Yeah. And you're like, and the guy can't speak a word of English, doesn't matter. Yeah, and you're like, rah, man, you got this lanky kid in Italy, just doing this. Yeah, it doesn't even say anything. After reactions.
Yeah, you're talking about, what's his name? KB Lame?
Yeah, KB, yeah. And then last month, the guy's doing a collaboration with Tony Stark, Iron Man. Yeah. And you're like, right, man. And I'm driving to Stoke to like gig in front of 200 drunk people for like £200 or something. And you're like, man, I've been doing this for 10 years and my man's been on it for 5 minutes and he's meeting Tony Stark and that. Like it's just, all that things changed the game, man. But I feel like I'm like a bit of a dinosaur. So when I started stand-up like back in 2010, for me it was just about the live work and then getting on TV and getting those big breaks like Live at the Apollo and Mock the Week and all that sort of stuff. People watching this might not even know what I'm talking about.
I used to grow up with my mum watching Live at the Apollo.
That's the thing, your mum. Do you get what I mean? He's insulting me. His mum used to watch Live at the Apollo. You know how much times I get, oh, my mum loves your comedy. What about you, bruv? Do you not like my comedy though?
Comedy as well.
No, not like you. Like you know many people, but oh, my mum's a big fan. Bruv, I'm not that old. Like, what about you, bro? You got eyes and ears as well. So I grew up watching those shows thinking like when I started that was my dream, it to be on that. But as I went through my comedy journey, TV became less and less relevant. Like the number of people who watch TV live, bro, you can count on like 2 fingers. Yeah, literally. Yeah. And now it's, even if you do the shows, it's about the clips afterwards. It's about getting those clips on TikTok and Instagram. Yeah. And they probably do better. They probably do
better on there.
Yeah, they do better on there than they will be on TV. Like even if the people who watch TV like you, bro, they're not on TikTok, they're not on Instagram, they're not on Twitter. They're not following you anywhere. Back in the day, it used to be different. Like if you went on Live at the Apollo back in like 2006-07, like the Mickey Flanagan, Jason Manford days or Jalili days, you were an overnight star. Overnight, you were selling out your tour. Whereas now, you could be on I've done Live at the Apollo twice. It's not really made a real difference in terms of being on TV. Didn't make a huge difference in terms of growing an audience. But put those videos on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, then suddenly you're like, oh yeah, I like what you do and stuff. But yeah, man, the game has changed so much. And I feel like, as I was saying, I feel like a bit of a dinosaur because I wish I'd come 5 years earlier and I could have made it in that TV world. Because now I'm playing catch up with the kids who take TikTok and Instagram like a duck to water. Like they're so natural on it and they're so good on it. Whereas I'm just playing catch up, man. I don't want to, without sounding like a,
say it how it is.
Can I swear?
Yeah.
Without sounding like a proper tossy, without sounding like a wanker. Like in my heart, I see myself as an artist in it.
Okay,
that's why I'm an artist in it. And so I didn't set out to become a content creator. I didn't set out doing this journey to be studying algorithms and studying when's the best time to post and what length should my video be and what light, because you got a beautiful setup here, what should my setup look like. I said, bro, that's not what I got into this, but I have to do that now if I wanna survive. If I want to evolve and survive and continue growing my fan base, I have to get there. But I'm playing catch up, bro, because it's not, as I said, it's not what I got into it for. I also don't enjoy it, and so it doesn't come naturally to me. Like doing this with the video does not come naturally to me. It's not natural,
but
you put me on a stage in front of 2,000 people, 4,000 people, 200 people, 50 people, bro, I'm as good as anyone.
Game's yours,
But you give me that and tell me to do something, I'm bare awkward. It's so weird. But then put me in front of a camera, lights and that, in terms of, like in this situation now, because I'm having a natural conversation, this is
right. Yeah, this is different. Yeah, but if you do yourself holding the camera,
if you're like, right, so looking at that camera now and do a 5-minute monologue on whatever, I'd be like, guys.
I completely agree with you, because me doing this podcast, I can do it naturally, but I also try to do a vlog channel on the side. Whenever I pick up a camera, it feels completely different. It feels unnatural. That's the thing.
But you got to get past that. Well, you don't have to, but I mean, the people who are good at it have obviously got past that. And they're so good at it, bro. You see, obviously, we all follow people on TikTok that make us laugh and stuff, or not even necessarily laugh. Like this, we learn stuff from them. You got like your cooking videos, your DIY videos, your ASMR videos, bro. There's a million things that come up on my timeline that I'm like, I didn't even know I was into this until I see it.
Until you see it,
and then I'm like,
give it a follow, and then
I
like people who chop wood and stuff like that. Different.
Bro, man with an axe, I'm like, okay, cool.
So you see the same guy as well,
bro, it's mad.
Okay, so this was an interesting point, right? Do you feel like over the years and as platforms like TikTok have come about, you've had to change demographics? And the reason why I asked this is because I can imagine, I've never been live at Apollo, but I can imagine that people that attend there are probably maybe around the same age as you, looking for that sort of comedy. But now the people who are using TikTok and Instagram are a lot younger, maybe my age or even below.
How old are you, bro?
I'm 26.
Fuck off.
Well, please don't say I was older. Go on, how old was I?
No, not that. It's just, bro, man, getting interviewed by kids and that.
How old are you?
I'm 40, bro.
So you're double my age.
I could be a dad.
It could be a dad.
I could be uncle though.
Yeah.
I could probably be, call me Uncle Tez, innit?
You probably are. You're from Pakistan, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee we're related somehow.
Where in Pakistan are you from?
Kashmir.
Jhelum.
But
it's not far.
Yeah, not far. Yeah, but 100% we got cousins.
I could throw in some Mari Tari if you want.
Yeah, literally all of that. But yeah, look, so going back to the question.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've had to change your comedy style or the jokes that you tell because you want to tailor to people with a much larger audience on TikTok and stuff to, get the algorithm going, if you will?
What's interesting about that is I had this conversation with my wife yesterday. We were driving and I was saying about how I've compromised so much of what I want to do and how I want to do it. So I have to be this guy on social media, even though it's not what I love doing. I have to think about the algorithm. I have to think about creating original content rather than just repurposing stand-up videos. Because original content, people want to see you. They don't always want to see your content. It's a weird thing, and I don't understand that because I don't really care that much about anyone's life that much. Like if you got content, show me that, and I don't care about your personal life and that. But people out there do, and what I think is what I think is not necessarily what the masses want. So I've had to compromise so much in terms of what I want to do and how much of myself I want to put out there. And in what way I want to put myself out there. And I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. The content that I do on stage is the last thing that I want to compromise on. Let that be the stuff that I just want to write in it. And naturally, over 13 and a half years that I've been doing this, you evolve as a comedian anyway. You evolve as anyone in any field, whether you're an artist, an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, teacher, in any field, you evolve anyway. If you're a teacher who started in 2010, you're not teaching in the exact same way in 2023. It's going into 2024. You're not teaching in that same way, innit? So, your podcasting probably from episode 1 to episode whatever this one is going to be, is not going to be the same, innit? So as an artist, I hate using that word because I sound like a wanker, but for want of a better word, as an artist, you do evolve anyway. So I would like to think that my material has got more sophisticated, more funnier, more accessible. People enjoy it more. And what I was writing back in 2010 is not the sort of stuff I'd be writing now. But in your bones, the stuff that you want to write about and the stuff that you want to say on stage should be the things that you want to do. You can't compromise on that for what you think people want, because then A, you're not true to your own voice, and B, you're not going to write your best stuff. If I start thinking, okay, what would Raheem and his mates want to hear? All right, yeah, no, yeah, let me write about that. Let me write about this thing. Yeah, it might not be the thing that I naturally know a lot of stuff about, and so A, it's not going to be authentic, and B, you're probably not even going to enjoy it that much.
Do you think?
I'd rather bring you on my journey.
Yeah,
because everyone you enjoy, every artist you enjoy, they don't live your life. Like, name a comedian that you enjoy.
Yourself.
Thank you very much. I'll take it. But like anyone else,
Hamza Arshad.
Anyone abroad, like we're talking about the Netflix type. Kevin Hart, right?
Yeah.
You don't live the life Kevin Hart lives.
No.
You don't speak the language Kevin Hart speaks.
No.
Like English, but I mean as in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're from London, innit? You speak in a particular way. You're 26 years old. You speak in a particular way. Kevin Hart's my age, 40 odd, right? He's from America. He speaks in a certain way. But that doesn't mean you can't relate to what he's doing. He's taking you on his journey. He's saying to you, come to me. He's not coming to you. And I want to do the same thing. I'd rather people come to me and enjoy me for the things that I want to say and how I want to say them, rather than me trying to think, okay, what's a 26-year-old from East London going to enjoy? What's a 21-year-old from Milton Keynes going to enjoy? Or what's that 30-year-old from Bradford going to enjoy? That if I do that, then I'm lost in it. I'm splitting myself in way too many different ways, and I'm not being authentic to myself. I can only write and try and create art that I want to create and just hope that it has an audience.
Give me that. Thank you very much. Fireway Pizza. You know we love a Fireway Pizza around here. Make sure you get yours when you're watching CEOCAST as well. You can either order it, or they've got hundreds of stores around the UK, around the world. So chances are you got a store near you, so you can either go there or pick it up, or go on fireway.co.uk and use the code in the description. You can get some good discount. But for now, we're going to have to resume this podcast in about 5 minutes, unfortunately. Sorry about that. But I'm starving right now and I need to eat. Make sure you lot eat as well. Look at the juice on the pizza. That's 10-10. I'll save this for after the podcast. So let's crack on. Let's get the show on the road and we can enjoy this together after. So this is what I was going to ask you, right? So you know, if you made content like that, do you feel like when it comes to the actual delivery on stage, you can't deliver it in the same way that you naturally would?
No, it's not about delivery. I might be able to deliver it naturally, but like it's not me in it. And what do I know about being a 26-year-old from East London? Like, I saw the car that we came in today. Like, bro, I don't know anything about cars, innit? If I'm trying to like write a bit of material about, you know, yellow BMWs and that, or gold or whatever color it is, yeah, bro, I don't know anything about that. And you're gonna be able to pick up on that.
Yeah.
When you hear me talk about that on stage, you're like, but that's not how.
But arguably, you could make a comment about like how East Londoners.
Yeah, I could take the mick out of it, but like it'd be a comment in it. It wouldn't be like a whole routine.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas what I tend, like most comedians write routines in it, and the one rule of comedy, unless you're writing set up punchline, unless you're writing one-liners like Milton Jones and Tim Vine and those guys, right? Unless you're writing one-liners, of which I'll be honest, black and Asian comics are less of in that space. But unless you're writing one-liners, you're writing routines, and you're writing routines based on your own life, things that you've noticed or things that you are into and stuff, right? And that, the one rule of comedy is talk about what you know. I don't know what it's like to live your life. I only know what it's like to live my life. We might have some of the same interests. We'll have overlapping interests for sure.
Yeah.
So there might be stuff in politics that I talk about that resonates with you because you're like, oh, I don't like such and such that he's talking about, or I like the way he's commenting on that thing because I feel about it in the same way. But if I'm talking about my own personal life, the interests I have are going to be different to the interests that you have. There'll be overlapping stuff there, but the language that I talk, I'm northern. I'm from Blackburn. I say bro, I don't say bruv. Like, if I start coming out on stage and going bruv, people are going to be like, that's
not natural to you.
That's not how he talks. I've heard him on the other podcast. That's not how he talks though. Like, I might drop in the odd bruv because I'm also one of those people who's kind of a bit adaptable, a bit of a chameleon. I kind of adapt to the environment I'm in. But if I'm being on stage, I want to be as natural as possible. Yeah. So I want to bring you to me. So I'm going to say bro. It's not that different. You're not going to be bothered by that. But if I start like dropping in bruvs, you're going to be like, right, I met Tez and that, but that's not how he talks and that. So what's that about? It's not going to be real, innit? Yeah.
You know the reason why I love comedy, right?
Go on.
You included your comedy is in a day and age where everything has become so soft and so like you could say one wrong thing and everyone's like, cancel. The reason why I love comedy, I'm a sucker, I'll be honest, for dark humour and stuff like that, right? I love
dark humour, bro.
Dark humour is the best thing, which is why I love your comedy. And it's almost like, because I'm a comedian, you can't cancel me sort of thing. I've seen like yourself do it. I've seen, what's the geezer in the name? Andrew Schulz.
Oh yeah,
I've seen him do it as well.
From
There's
America.
loads of like dark comedy that I love, but because it's comedy, they don't get cancelled, and it's like almost like you got to step on the borderline, find the actual border of where the point is of where people are actually going to grill you for this now. So how do you actually find that point of what's taking the piss and funny and no, you can't say this?
So for me, I can't speak for any other comedian. I can't speak for Schulz.
In your own perspective.
Like Schulz is a big inspiration, like what he's done in terms of business as well as comedies. What a guy. But in terms of myself, like for me, my big thing is stay in your lane, innit? So for me, I'll stay in my own lane as much as possible. So for me, I'm Asian. I talk about race. I'm Muslim. I can talk about what's happening to Muslims around the world. I can talk about how people treat religion and stuff. Right? Those are my. I'm British guy, so I can talk about British politics. That's my lane. I'm an uncle. I can talk about how much I dislike kids. For comedy and stuff. Those are my lanes. There are other subjects that I might have opinions on, but it's not my lane, innit? And then suddenly people are like, why are you talking about that? Why are you talking about that for? So I try to protect myself a little bit by I'll take it to the edge as possible in my own lane, because then people can't say anything to me.
Yeah, because you're in that lane.
Because I'm in that lane.
You're in that person.
I'm occupying that lane, kind of.
Like
or I'm next to that lane at least. I'm driving next to that lane.
Like you make a joke about like Muslims being terrorists and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Or terrorists on the news. They can't say anything to you because
that's
you
my
are
lane.
Muslim,
Or ironically twist it and be like, this is your perspective on us.
Yeah.
This is what you think we are.
Yeah.
That's my lane. But then there's other subjects that are not my lane, innit? So for now at least, I'll stay clear of it and let people who are in that lane or who don't mind just like crashing over to other lanes and that, let them do it. Because also there's an element of, this is slightly where I do have a small business mind about this, is like, you still need to work. You need to be able to put food on the table, put a roof over your head, pay your mortgage, etc., etc., etc. If by being so reckless on stage, you end up diminishing that a little bit, what good is that to you or anyone that is reliant on you? So I respect the people who do it, don't get me wrong, and more power to them. But for me, I do watch myself a little bit. In my own lane, I'll be reckless. But there's other lanes that I kind of be like, you know what, that it's not my time. And also like, what do they matter? If I've got a strong opinion about this, but I know it's going to cause a big ruckus, what do they matter if I don't say it? Like what am I really losing?
Arguably, you could go more viral for that and it'll be better for you in the long run.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe. But then it's also, you know what it is, bro? You got to protect your mental health as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how these people do it. Like, you know, the people who get like, they put a thing out and they just get an avalanche of abuse.
I can imagine.
And in the long run, it might kind of work out for them because through that, they'll find people who actually enjoy what they're doing when all the smoke and sound and
when the earthquake
they've created has all been cleaned up, They might then come out for it slightly better on the other side. But that period there, bro, where everyone's like la 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 and all this, bro, and they're loud as well. And that bit sometimes is a bit tricky, man.
Look, I want to come back to this later on in the podcast because I do think there is just with any industry, there is a dark side of comedy that no one knows about, I think. And I want to know about how you evolve in the future as a comedian. But let's take it all the way back because we haven't touched on your story, how you became a comedian in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, as you said, you're in your 40s and you became a comedian.
40s, I just turned 40 and that.
Just turned 40.
Man's made me 48 and that. Man's in his 40s.
Yeah, don't worry. I am. It's a minor, bro.
I am in my 40s.
Exactly. But look, you've been doing comedy, you said, for 13 years now. 13 and a half years, which means you started when you were about 27. So we still got a whole load of 27 years to unpack. So take me back to Tez as a kid.
Hoy boy.
Were you always that because I can imagine a comedian being a class clown.
Yeah. I think everyone's journey is slightly different, but for me, I was a class clown. I was an obnoxious kid in school. I used to answer back in when like teachers ask rhetorical questions in assembly, and they leave that pause for effect. I used to fill that pause with an answer and that.
You're that guy.
I was that kid, man, that boring, obnoxious kid that wanted attention. And maybe that stems slightly from coming from a broken home and stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't been to a psychologist about it, but I'm sure it's probably all in there somewhere.
Yeah, I know a psychologist if you want one. I'll
cool. No, let me know, bro. Yeah. So I'm sure that's part of it as well. And I touch about my kind of life story in my book, The Secret Diary of a British Muslim, aged 13 3/4, which is about growing up in Blackburn. But it kind of covers my teenage years mostly. So yeah, grew up in a 2 up, 2 down. Mum, me, sister. Mum got remarried when I was like 6. Dad got remarried as well. Had a ton more siblings. So
Did you have contact with your dad then?
Yeah. So me and my dad are good mates, man. Like we obviously when I was younger, it's a bit more difficult. But as we've got older, we've sort of become quite close and stuff. And I had more of an understanding on that. My dad was always in my life. Like he's never not been in my life. But it was kind of that like once a week kind of thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And now we're mates in it.
Yeah,
it's like we understand each other now.
Yeah.
And I got to remember as well, my parents were bare young when they got married. Like my parents were teenagers when they got married, had 2 kids and got divorced. Like imagine, have you got any teenage siblings?
Yeah. I got, no, not teenage. She's 21. Youngest one.
Right, but imagine your sister got married 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That's mad, innit?
That is mad.
That is mad to think about that, innit?
That's a young age.
That's a young age, innit? So like that's
are your parents first generation in this country?
Yeah. So my granddad came.
Yeah.
Then he brought his family over, which included my dad. So my dad's been here since he was 6.
Yeah.
So my dad's very British, like football, all that, yeah. And then he married my mum. He went back home to marry my mum, and then my mum came as well. So they both like from back home.
But that's quite a common thing.
But my dad's more British though.
Yeah. That's quite a common thing though.
Yeah.
You know, there might be some non-Asian people watching this right now and be like, no way. But to us, our parents all did that.
Yeah.
So it's quite a common thing in that sense.
Yeah. And so like, you know, whoever's for whatever reason that marriage broke down or whatever, like it's nothing, bro. They were teenagers, man. Nothing whose fault it was. This, that, nothing to do with me, bro. It happened. It happened like it happened 40 plus years ago. Yeah, what's it to do with me? What good am I gonna get out of now digging that up and going, whose fault was it? I want to know.
Yeah.
Why?
There's no point, especially if you got a relationship.
Like, what does it matter, man?
If you got a relationship with both parents, why do you need to do that?
Just move on, live your life, man.
Yeah.
I know some people, unfortunately, who get stuck in that sort of like, I can't move on because I'm sure the trauma that I'm experiencing in my life traces back to my childhood. But bro, deal with your trauma, innit? You don't need to like bring up other people's pain. Like they went through what they went through because they were kids, man. I didn't know any better. We're making mistakes now. I'm 40, you're 26. We're making mistakes every day in our lives. Like imagine you got married when you were 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Bro, do you think you would have been a good husband? A good wife?
No, I doubt
a good partner? You wouldn't have, innit? None of us would have, bro. So, you know, like so grew up in, then mum got remarried and all that. Then I was at school. School was rough. Had a GCSE pass rate of 30%.
Is it what, your school?
Yeah, my school had a GCSE pass rate. When I was there, it's better now.
Yeah.
But when I was there, bro, like we had more race riots in our school than music teachers.
Okay.
Bro, it was mad. It was a mad time. Like it was, I loved it. I love school. I loved it. I was a bit of a nerd as well.
Yeah.
Like I was the one kid who liked studying.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I was the kid who like let everyone copy their homework and stuff because that was the way I could be popular in it. That was my way. My way of being accepted. That like, oh yeah, copy his homework and that. And I was like, yeah, copy my homework.
So you were like the kid in class who was like, you know what? For me to get the popularity, let me let the guy copy my homework and all that sort of stuff. Did it work out? Did you become the popular kid?
I wasn't like the popular kid, but you know, I was somewhere in the middle ground.
Yeah, okay,
that's what you know. Also, my cousins were very popular.
Yeah.
So I had them in it.
Okay,
so I was kind of hanging on to their coattails.
Yeah,
and that, like, my cousin. Oh, is that what's his cousin? Yes, you're safe.
Yeah, leave him.
Yeah.
No beef.
Yeah. So also all the kids that were having beef, I was in that group in it.
Yeah.
So and it was one of the schools where everyone just bullied everyone. So sometimes you got it, sometimes you were giving it to the people. So everyone, even the most popular kids, sometimes it was their day to get bullied.
Yeah.
Like everyone just got it. And you know how it's like going in school in it. Everyone gets it.
Literally.
And when it's your day, it's shit.
It's peak.
It's peak in it. When it's your day, it's shit, bro. But
we all got in school.
But then it never lasts more than 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
Then you join in, moving on to someone else.
This is why I miss school so much because okay, you could condone it, you know, borderline bullying, but it was the best thing ever.
It's only bullying if it's one kid forever, bro.
Yeah.
If it's a different kid every other day, then it's not. Then it's like character building.
But kids nowadays, I feel like they'll never know because schools are so soft, man, and the people in the world nowadays are so soft.
I don't know, bro. I feel that's still some of that around, especially in the
city schools. There's definitely some of it around.
There's definitely got to be some of that around.
Yeah, but to the extent of that, I don't know. Because I speak to my young cousins who are still in school, and they're like,
bro, they're bullying each other online now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's different.
You know because what was easier for us is at least if you had a bully, at least you could shut it out for 12 hours, innit? The 12 hours, 15 hours you were at home.
Yeah, you ain't got Instagram open up and see keyboard messages and all that.
Now, bro, these kids are bullying each other on PlayStation, on Snapchat. And probably an apps that I've never even heard about.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. These kids are living a complete different life. Their
life.
lives, they've grown up online. We grew up, like you definitely.
I grew up offline.
Offline,
yeah, 100%.
You know, I had, back in our day, it was MSN, like the very early stages of it, right? But we never had...
Then you had BBM
BBM and all that. BBM came when I was in like year 12, year 11.
Okay.
So throughout year 7 to that time, it was everything was all in person. All the banter was in person. There was no online bullying. It was just
completely
all of that. But back to your story. I've been waffling on too much.
Yeah. So then did my GCSEs. I wanted to be a doctor when I was a kid. Obviously, because I'm Asian, innit? Obviously, I don't know whether that was my own idea. It was incepted into my brain by my mum when I was sleeping. It's like, be a doctor. Then I wake up going, I want to be a doctor. She's like, oh, what a surprise. So from as far back as I can remember, I wanted to be a doctor. So did well enough in my GCSEs to stay on that track. And then at 16, 17, got thrown out of home by my stepdad.
Is it?
Yeah, it was. And then went
Can I ask why?
It's because he's a dickhead.
Okay, it was nothing to do with you.
No, bro, I was a good kid. I was a good kid, bro. Yeah. I was a good kid. I did nothing to that man, but he's a fucking prick. So I got thrown out of home. So I went to live with my sister. And then I kind of just took my eye off the ball. Like, my mum was strict, man. She's like one of the Chinese tiger mums, innit? Like, you're studying. It's time to study. Every day when I was a kid, she used to make me read. I used to love reading anyway, but she used to make me write as well. I used to hate writing. Like
the irony of it now.
The irony of it, innit? So like, it was like, write 2 pages on whatever, and I just like rush. I don't even know why. Half the time I think you should copy it from a book just to get 2 pages done. Or sometimes I'd do a page and show her a page from yesterday and hope she doesn't notice.
Just notice it, yeah.
But yeah, my mum was strict, man, in terms of education and stuff, and making sure that, you know, that I was going to make something of myself. But when I left home and lived with my sister, took my eye off the ball. I think I got a bit arrogant as well, because I thought, well, I didn't want to write my GCSEs. And because my school was so bad, I was like above average in it. And so I just thought, so I wasn't comparing myself to like elite schools and the peak schools around the country and stuff. I was just comparing myself to the people around me. And I was like, I'm doing fine. I'm getting better grades than these lads. So I think I'll be all right. So I just took my eye off the ball and just really didn't study that well for my A-levels. Flopped them completely. So medicine was completely off the table. But all my A-levels were in science. So I was like, oh, gotta do a science degree, I guess, innit? So I started looking online, clearing. That's when you flop your A-levels and you see what to go uni. I went for the same thing. Yeah, bro, you know, innit?
The funny thing, I actually did, what did I do? I did BTEC level 3 science as well, so...
Right.
Yeah, same thing.
So you know what I'm talking about, innit? So then I ended up falling upwards to Lancaster University, which is one of the best universities in the country. Yeah. So I could have gone to like Man Met, or no disrespect, actually full disrespect to anyone who went to Man Met, or like Leeds or one of them ones, yeah. Not Leeds Uni, the Metropolitan. But I ended up falling upwards by accident to Lancaster. I didn't even want to go to Lancaster. I'd been there on an open day, and it just looked dead. Just quiet. And I was like, it's going to be boring. But I thought the course there was better than the course at Man Met. So I thought, I can't do colour chemistry at Man. I don't even know what that means. So I go to biochemistry at Lancaster and hopefully just have a good time. Yeah. Loved it, bro. Loved it. But and also like Lancaster's like a top 10 uni. So I fluked it. Like,
so did you graduate and everything as well?
Yeah, fully graduated, bro. Got a master's in management as well.
No way.
Yeah, so I got a bachelor's in biochemistry. And then by the time I finished that, I was like, I don't really want to be a scientist. Like, I kind of fell out of love with science. Couldn't see myself working in the lab. So Lancaster, one of the best management schools in Europe. So I was like, let me just take advantage of that and roll into a and there's a master's course for non-management students. It's like a fast track in management.
Okay, yeah.
So I did that, got my merit, passed, and then I was like, right, I need a job now. And then applied for the civil service.
So you're part of civil service as well?
Yeah, I got on the fast stream, bro.
Shout out civil service.
Yeah, shout out fast stream and that. So I got on that, which was a very competitive thing apparently. Yeah. But I just like, yeah, I did it and I got on. And that was like 2007. Yeah. 6, 7.
So is this the reason why you were in London then?
That's the reason I was in London. Okay. So I moved to London to work in the Home Office on the fast stream.
That's sick.
Yeah. Okay. And then when I was down here, I worked here for a year, went back up north for 2 years. And then when I came back again the second time, which is 2010, then I was like, I just need to do something, man. Because you're from London, and it's different. You got family and friends here. I don't have anyone here, apart from the friends I went to uni with, and they're scattered all over the place. And real life is not like Friends, the sitcom, innit?
Did you not have any like the up near relatives, distant ones that you could see who lived in Green Street and
all of my family are either in Blackburn or in Gillingham.
Is it okay?
There might be like, don't mean around the like dad's second cousin, whatever, but I don't mean like no one that I know though.
Yeah.
So my entire family is in Blackburn or Gillingham. So I had no one in London apart from the people I went to uni with. And real life is not like Friends, the sitcom. Not everyone's living together in the same flat and that.
Yeah, 100%.
But bro, I was a bit lonely in that. I was like, I need a hobby. I need something to do. So I just started Googling writing workshops. Just something to do in the evening.
Why writing workshops?
Just something to do in it. Everyone's got that story in their head that they want to put on paper, and everyone's got an idea in their head that they think would look good on paper or whatever. Yeah. Worst case, I just like it'd be a bit of a hobby and that. Or someone like, I thought I'd just meet new people. That's the worst case scenario. I'll meet new people,
make friends, hang out with them on the side.
Yeah, that's it. Stuff. Yeah. And then while I was Googling writing workshop, I came across a stand-up workshop, and I thought, hey, my friends always tell me that I'm funny. I'm deluded enough to believe them. So I thought, I'll try that. I'll give that a go. And it was 1 day a week for 6 weeks, £130. bro, that was so much money to me. So much money to me. Because I was 3 years out of uni, but I still had full overdrafts maxed out. I was paying off my career development loan that I took out to do my masters, bro. I was broke in it. And I was like...
So I'm assuming like your salary from work is just about covering your costs.
Yeah, that literally living month to month.
Yeah.
Paycheck to paycheck, covering my rent, a bit of entertainment on the side, going out and stuff, having a nice time with mates and that. And then even travelling back up north to Blackburn once or twice a month was £100 a go. So to like think about that as well.
It's expensive.
So every little £50, £100 mattered to me.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was just like, £130, man. And then there's something in me that was like, just do it, man. Just do it. Go on, just do it. And you know, that's where Kismet comes into play. Because I'm like, at any other time of the month or any other different month, I might have said, no, it's too much money. It's not worth it. What are you going to do that for? Complete waste of time. You might not even go. You might sign up and not go. But just in that moment, sat in that chair, in that building, I went, yeah, sign up to it. And that was in January. The course started in April, like just after Easter, just after my 27th birthday. And I went on it. It was 1 day a week for 6 weeks. It doesn't teach you how to be funny. You're not. But it gives you the mechanics of stand-up. Stand-up is different to being funny with your mates and being a goofball and that.
Yeah, I can imagine,
is a completely different thing. It's an art form.
What sort of things do they teach you in that?
They give you like writing exercises and like they give you homework. Like they'll be like, think about something that annoys you and rant about it write a rant on it for 90 seconds. So you come back the following week. And you obviously try and make it funny and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
you got to present it to the other people in
and
the
then
group?
so there were like 15 of us in that group, and then you're basically doing a little stand-up performance.
Okay,
in front of them. You're doing your 90 seconds rant about whatever it is that's annoyed you. And then you get exercises. You learn little rules of rules of three. Like if you're saying something, say 2 mild things, then say a third thing that's like completely out of whack.
Yeah.
Because you're saying a normal thing, punchline.
Okay.
So little things like that you learn little tricks like that you might not have thought of necessarily.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that. Like watching stand-up comedy, I would never have thought any of these things.
So there's little things like structure, callbacks, all that sort of stuff. What not to do, make sure you move the mic stand away from you. Because when you're nervous, the first time you don't know what you're doing, you take the mic out, you just leave the mic stand. I've seen it happen to new comedians. They leave the mic stand there, then they're performing with the mic stand in front of them because in their head they haven't thought to move it. It's little technical things like that. So like it teaches you stuff like that. Basically gives you a 6 month head start on people who haven't been on a comedy course or comedy workshop. Then at the end of it, there was a writing workshop. A stand-up showcase. There's a showcase for everyone who'd been on the course, for them to invite their family and friends, and whatever they'd prepared 5-7 minutes on that course, they'd do it in front of them. That was like our first ever gig. So I invited my friends. My friends came down.
Did you tell them you were doing this course?
Yeah. I was quite honest about it because they were like, it was one of those things that uni in it, like when we watch Eddie Murphy or any sort of stand up on that, and they're like, you're not out of the room. You're like, oh, who could possibly even do that? And it's always like, Tez, you could do that, innit? I was like, bro, you might as well tell me I could be an astronaut, innit? Like, what are you talking about? Like, how can I do that? It was still at the back of my mind, though, innit? When I saw that stand up workshop, that was at the back of my head.
Yeah.
So I was like, just try it, innit? So I told them, they were quite excited about it, and then loads of them, I think I had about 10 friends there who came, and I remember like, I told them to be inconspicuous in it, like sit at the back of the room, just don't make too much noise. I'm gonna come on in it and do my thing. These motherfuckers make t-shirts saying I'm with Tez and sit on the front row, and I'm like, you fucking bastards, man. Why would you put that pressure on me, man? And then that was my first ever show, and it went well, man. People laughed when I wanted them to laugh. They laughed in the right places. I then just got bitten by the bug. And after that, because I made contacts on the course, I found out about the open mic circuit, which is like the open mic circuit.
Okay, yeah.
There's the lowest rung, the bottom rung of the comedy ladder.
Yeah. It's
basically the open mic circuit. There's like a sub-circuit, a subculture in London of open mic comedy, which is across just pubs all over London, north, south, east, west, a lot in central, to be honest, like zone 1.
So this is all still going on whilst you're working at civil services?
Doing my day job.
Yeah.
Got my hobby in the evening.
Okay.
Going to different comedy shows for open mic nights. And these things were brutal, man. You got like 15 comedians on a night, all doing 5-7 minutes each. You got maybe like 20 audience members, sometimes 7 people.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's more comedians than there are audience members. So the comedians are making up the audience members. And comedians are the worst audience because we don't laugh at anything.
Yeah.
If you think something is funny, this is us when something's funny, yeah? You go,
not bad.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
I'm going to see you doing that tonight to the other comedians, innit?
You know what? I wish I'd written that. That's nice. The only time we enjoy it is when someone's flopping. When someone's flopping, we're like, yes!
Love it, yeah.
Yes, get my popcorn. Because that's happened to all of us. We've all been there, innit? So that's the best. But like, so I was on this open mic circuit and just grinding away, trying to make a name for myself, trying to get onto the pro nights, you know, like the Friday, Saturday clubs, like you've seen it in the like Comedy Store and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to get the open spot. That's like the tryout spots on those nights, and just grinding away, doing my day job, suffering, bro, like not sleepless nights, but like late nights, getting back late, getting up in the morning to work. That's all that grind that people don't see in it. And doing that for 6.5 years between that first ever gig and leaving my day job. 6.5 years and I must have done 1,000 gigs or something in that time.
What gig was it where you thought this is actually like not like a massive gig, but a gig where you thought, right, there's a lot of people here, you know? And what was that moment like?
Weird. There's never is that thing. There's never one gig.
No,
it was always with me. I always kept having like little wins, and then little wins kept convincing me to keep moving forward. Because there were enough bad nights, bro. There was some bad nights, especially on the open mic circuit. It's bad, bro.
Did you ever have nights where you felt like Eminem in 8 Mile where he's vomiting in the bathroom?
100%, bro. I never had that thing where you're like, I don't say anything and walk off stage. But like, you know, you do your set and no one's laughed. And you come off going, bro, I'm a fraud, man. What am I doing? And like, bro, I was talking to myself, like, going stuff like, listen, you don't drink. You're going around to these pubs, yeah, to upstairs, you know, the dysfunction rooms in pubs or basements sometimes, yeah. You go to dysfunction rooms of pubs when you don't drink and you're trying to make strangers laugh for no money. And when they don't laugh, it's ruined your day. Bro, you're ill. Go see someone. Because that's not normal. But that's the grind, bro. That is the grind. That's the training. You're like footballers. You know, footballers start playing when they're 4 years old, innit? And they make their debut at 18. But in that meantime, you don't see what it takes from being 4 years old to being 18 and making that debut. And bro, it can be hell for them, innit? That's the open mic circuit. Like trying to learn how to do that. Yeah. And sometimes it's hell, bro. It's like anyone at work has a bad day.
It must be like some heartbreaking moments.
Yeah, bro. But one of the most underrated facets for being a comedian, one of the most underrated skills is perseverance and resilience. Because you gotta have resilience, bro. Because them nights are. Imagine going on stage, yeah, and you're trying to make people laugh, and no one's laughed, bro. You gotta see those people you gotta meet those people in the eye on the way out.
Yeah, bro, thanks. See you, man. Nice night.
You just want the world to swallow you up. But you think to yourself, but that's what I'm saying, there were enough little wins that made you think that, no, you got to keep doing this. Because the last thing I wanted to do was give up and then 10 years down the line, see the people that was around, the other type of people that was around make it. And then me going to my mates and that, like, you know, be someone in a shisha cafe and Lava the Apollo comes on TV and your mate's like, didn't you tried that, innit, for a little bit back in the day? Yeah. And you're like, yeah, no, I did, but I knew him as well. Yeah, no, I used to do better than him. And they're like, shut up, man. You're like, yeah, no, I got some couple of gigs I used to do better than him, but like, you know, he carried on and he made it. Bless him, man. Yeah, alhamdulillah, good for him and that. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy looking at TV 10 years down the line going, I know these lot. And if I carried on,
I could have been there
as well. So I just had to carry on, man. It's like work, man. You have bad days, and even with this podcast, right? I bet sometimes you finish a podcast record going, I don't feel like that was a good one.
100%, yeah.
And then sometimes you're like, that's a banging episode. Yeah. And sometimes people will tell you whether it's good or not. Like you might think, what do you think is a banging episode might not be the ones that people resonate with the most. And the one that you might think, I'm not sure about that one. People, for some reason, it bangs.
Happens all the time. All the time.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason sometimes to these things. So I just kept having those little wins, and there's little competitions called open mic competitions or new act competitions. So there's stand-up competitions for newcomers. Okay, yeah. So like if you're going like less than 3-4 years, this is for you. Okay. You're doing your 5-7 minutes competing against other people. And there's rounds, bro. You're like first round, second round, quarterfinal, semi-final.
Competing against other comedians?
Not like that in terms of like you all get your 5 minutes. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, 1 or 2 people go through to the next round.
Okay. So basically, like, who makes the audience laugh the most?
Yeah. Or sometimes you got judges. Okay. And sometimes the mix of what the audience likes and what the judges are into. Okay. So then I was doing well in them. There was like, I think there were like 10 of them around when I was coming up, all of various different degrees of like how important they were. The most important one was the BBC New Comedy Award. BBC, innit? Yeah. That was the most important one. But then there were other ones that were like more industry important. And I was kind of doing all right in them as well. I remember like 6 months in, I got to my first ever final. For the first competition I tried, I got to the final. And I remember like, there was a guy on the course. He was doing the sister course. So our course was on Saturday. He was doing the Wednesday course, and he'd already been going a little bit, and he did the course to like make himself a bit better. Yeah. And I remember I met him a couple of gigs later, and I was like, oh, I've got that first round of that competition thing coming next week. Or like, what do you like? Any hints and tips on that? He goes, yeah, just do your best and enjoy yourself. Do your best. But like, just remember, you might get through, but you're not gonna get to the final or win or anything like that. So don't worry about any of that stuff because you're just not. Like you've been going a month. Like don't worry about that. Yeah. And then every round I just kept going through, and then I would use those open mic gigs as training for those competition gigs. So I didn't worry too much about how well I did or didn't do because I just kept trying material. I just kept trying stuff out because I knew for me that was training and those competitions were match day.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just got to keep training, try different things in training, try different skills, try different maneuvers, try different bits out, knowing that I'm putting something together for the match day.
Okay.
And every match day which was a round in a competition.
Yeah.
I was smashing it.
It's all preparation basically.
And I kept going through and I kept having them little wins.
Yeah.
So when I reached the Leicester Square New Comedian of the Year final, 2010, I was like, I've been going 6 months. And I was so proud of myself, like...
Well, that was only 6 months into the
6 months in. And I remember like telling people, because people, the big thing back when you started is how long you been going, how many gigs you done. And I used to be so proud, bro. Like doing around these gigs and going, I've been doing 3 months. And people are like, 3 months,
And they'll be like, I've been doing this for 3 years.
Oh shit, okay. Yeah. And then like people start keeping an eye on you then, innit? People are like, it's 3 months, I'm like, you might have some. And then after that came the BBC New Comedy Award, which was like Sarah Millican's been to the final of that. Like Jason Manford's been to the final of that. Like Peter Kay's been to the final of that, like back in the day. So that's like a big one.
Yeah.
And I got to the final of that within my first year. And that was almost unheard of. I think the final was almost a year anniversary to my first ever gig. I didn't win the thing. But for me, like being in the final was a win in itself.
Yeah, the fact that you got there.
I'm on the board in it. I'm on the board in that. Winning is then come down to personal taste and how well you do on the day and stuff, and sometimes factors outside your circle.
But even then, getting to the final in the first place, it firstly gives you so much confidence, but secondly, probably opens the eyes of people in the industry to look out for you.
Exactly that. So I had that and I thought, okay, this is a big win. And that was 1 year in.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it took years and years and years after that. But having those little wins just kept me in the game. Just kept me thinking, you're good enough. If you persevere, you'll get somewhere. You might not reach the very, 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 very top, but you'll get a career out of it.
Yeah.
And you'd rather do that than the thing that you're doing. And the civil service was good, but it didn't grab me. It wasn't what I wanted to do. Because as soon as I started comedy, I was like,
this is what you really love and enjoy.
This is what I was born to do, man. I was born to do this. I might not be a Messi or Ronaldo, but I feel like I was born to do this.
Okay, so
even if I'm Luke Shaw.
Yeah, here's what I want to ask you.
That's not a bad career, innit?
Yeah. Here's what I want to ask you, just moving on to that point. So at that point now where you've been carrying on doing comedy for 6 years whilst you're doing your day job, what was the point where, like, I don't like getting too much into income, so I'm not talking about figures here, but where the income from comedy was like, I'm getting good money from this gig right now, and comparing it alongside your civil service job?
It was slow, bro. Like for the first 3-4 years, I was getting nothing. It was like an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
It was like I was doing a degree. Like I'm just here for work experience, just learning how to do the job on that. And then slowly, a bit of money started coming through, but nowhere near a salary. It was like spending money on the side.
Yeah.
And then I think six and a half years in, like I got a couple of big jobs that meant that I was earning enough if I left London. And that's when that decision came. Like you can carry on grinding in London and doing the day job, which I was doing less and less well in. So that's a bit of pressure there because it's not fair on them.
Yeah.
Or...
What is that? Because your attention's elsewhere?
Yeah, okay. My heart's not in it, my attention's not in it. And they all knew.
Yeah.
People I worked with were lovely. They knew in it. And then... But then also I don't want to pay... The money I'm earning from comedy, I don't want to pay it on rent in London because then I'm just going to live in a squat.
Yeah.
And I can't... Big man's like 33 now and I can't do that my whole life and that. So it's like I'm going to leave London, go back home. And by that time I'd hustled in London. So in terms of comedy clubs, there was nowhere that I needed to prove to in London. Okay. I'd already done that.
Yeah.
They were booking me or they weren't booking me. I didn't have to prove myself to them. Then the only reason I needed to come to London was for either gigs or meetings or TV, radio, whatever. And that's fine.
Had you done Live at Apollo at this point?
No. So Live at the Apollo came a couple of years after that.
Okay. So I'm going to get into
all the big things came a couple of years after that.
I'm going to get onto the question there, which I've been waiting to ask you for this whole podcast, right? I'm going to give you a little brief background story just to tie it all in together. I see comedians do that all the time, so I'm going to do the same thing, right? So when I started this podcast, no one knew about it. No friends, no family, nothing like that. And then it eventually became a career. Still didn't tell my family, because I'm Pakistani at the end of the day. Regardless how old we get as Pakistanis, our dads, our mums are always going to say something about our career choices. If I went into a different career now, I will get questioned on it, regardless. I could be 60 years old, choosing a different career. My dad would say, Putur, what are you doing? Why are you making this decision for?
Yeah.
So I want to know really and truly what it was like for you to go from what was like an excellent 9 to 5 in civil service.
Proper career, bro.
And you saying to your mum and dad, I'm leaving to be a comedian. Because, not in a disrespectful way, I don't think any Asian parent expects their son or daughter to say that.
No,
it's like if you're gonna leave your job, at least do it for like
somewhere good, somewhere better.
Yeah, do it.
Or a business or something.
But you're gonna be a comedian.
Yeah, bro, it's hard for our parents to fathom that because.
How did you tell him?
I think I can't remember It was easier with my dad than my mum, because as I said, my dad's been here since he was 6, and my dad was like the black sheep of his generation, brown sheep of his generation. Yeah. So it was easier with him. Me doing something a bit funky, something a bit different. He was like, "Right, yeah, go on then." Whereas with my mum, it was that exact thing. Like, what?
Yeah, what you talking?
Are you
about?
even funny though? Like, is he funny? Like, is he funny? We didn't even know that about you. So it was a bit difficult with my mum, but then ultimately, because I was moving home, that was the soothing balm, that was the Vaseline, that was the Vicks to soothe that pain of like he's living like. Even now to this day, I don't think she's truly happy that I do this for a living. Yeah. Truly deep down in her heart, I don't think she's like if I was like, I'm jacking this in to get a 9 to 5 that earns similar amount of money, she'd be like, Alhamdulillah.
She's probably thinking, I should have whispered more times in his ear.
In his ear, exactly. Probably not. Don't be a doctor. Don't be a comedian. Don't be a comedian. Don't become an artist. Shut your mouth. Don't be obnoxious. Yeah. You don't need attention. It's fine.
Did you feel any of your outside family like making any judgment? Uncles, aunties?
That came. I think they kind of found out when I was doing a little bit well. So they were a bit curious about it, a bit like perturbed by it. Like, what?
Yeah.
But then my cousins were more supportive. Were like, yeah, but he's doing it. He's in a TED talk, you know, and like man's on BBC and 9, so you're doing right. Like, give him a chance for 9. Yeah. Whereas a couple of my other cousins were more like, my religious ones especially, were like, I don't know if we think you should be going into these certain establishments and doing this sort of stuff, you know. We don't know how we feel about that, but perseverance in it. As like ultimately, this is what I'm doing un-Islamic. And they couldn't say yes definitively. So it's like, shut your mouth then, innit?
It's not un-Islamic though, is it?
But some people, you know what? You can make an argument for anything being un-Islamic.
Yeah, you can.
You can make an argument for anything being un-Islamic, and people will have them.
But generally, I'm trying to think about it. Like, I can understand some industries where they say, no, it's un-Islamic, or, you know, there's a grey area. But comedy, what are you doing? That's un-Islamic. You're making people laugh.
I'm sure someone in the YouTube comments will let you know.
Somehow, because I don't know. Can you think of any argument for it? No, I don't know. But yeah, you're right.
I appreciate that, brothers. But you know, there was some like, not difficult conversations, but like tricky conversations. Yeah. That was like, nah, man, I think you're being a bit unfair in that. I think like, you know, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm doing. Like, there's a soft dawah there as well. You know, like, it's not all. There's a subtext to some of not everything, but there's a subtext to some of the stuff that I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes people more understanding of where we come from and all that sort of stuff. So like, that's not the entire reason I do it, but it's there. And you know, dawah comes in all different kinds of forms and that. So you know, don't be. You know, I met Mufti Menk the other day.
Is it?
Yeah, I dinner with Mufti Menk, not like personally, but like, you know, I was on the same table.
Yeah.
And he was chatting to us, and as soon as it was me and Ali Official, and he loves Ali Official, which is amazing. And he's like, you know, you comedians, man, I love you guys, because you know, you guys do that soft dawah, and not everyone appreciates that, but you keep doing what you're doing. And then for Mufti Menk to give me that sort of like, yeah, keep going. I'm like, who are you, bruv?
Yeah. Literally, anyone else? Where's the Haram police at now?
Exactly, innit? Mufti Menk said I can do it. I've got a stamp of approval.
I want to
chat to me.
Chat to me. Where did your big break come from? Like, what was the point where you were like, okay, big things now?
Again, you know what is funny? I don't feel like I've had mine.
Really?
It's funny that, innit? Like, I don't think I've had my big break. What I'll say is, I don't think I'm a made man.
But I don't think anyone ever feels like that. I don't think anyone ever feels like that. But
like, you think about certain, let's just stick to the UK, think about certain people, right, at certain levels, right? Like, let's think about like Jimmy Carr. That's a made man. Ramesh Ranganathan, he's a made man. Like Frankie Boyle, he's a made man. Maybe like he's made some artistic choices now. He does his own thing, but for a long time, he was a made man, yeah? You think about people at that level, yeah, they made men in it. And like, then you got people who are going up to that level, like Guz, and other people in that kind of level who are going up to that level, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think that's where I am.
Where would you say you are then?
Kind of a tier below, like treading water. I feel like I'm treading water.
And what would you say gets you to that level? What have you got to do to be on that level?
Some of it, work, perseverance, hard work, graft, all that, yeah. And some of it's like, a lot of this, because it's not like you pass an exam and you become a thing. A lot of it's do the people who are in power like what you do, like the gatekeepers, the people who put you on TV, who cast you in who make casting decisions and booking choices. Do they like you? Do they like what you do? Do you fit into their agenda? All that sort of stuff matters as well. And I don't want to blame my circumstances on that, because ultimately, if you're good enough, then it's undeniable.
Yeah.
And you get what you're given. And also, the philosophy of you get what is written for you and nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
So I'm quite philosophical about what will happen for me, what won't happen to me. If it's meant for me, it'll happen for me. If it's not meant for me, no matter how hard I try, that next levels won't happen for me.
Yeah.
But then also ultimately, like, I'll be honest with myself. I'm like, I know the game has changed. Come back to the conversation we were having at the beginning of the pod, right?
Yeah.
I know the game's changed. I know that a lot of people's eyes and ears are now online, on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Have I, being honest with myself, really and truly worked hard to cultivate an audience in that space? And the answer is no. I haven't. So if you look at like the Andrew Schulz example, because you brought him up earlier, he's worked very hard.
I've got another great example that I could think of, and I was watching an interview briefly of him. His name's Matt Rife.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I think
but Matt Rife, a lot of it was luck as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was luck.
I'd say a lot of it was social media as well.
He looks a certain way as well.
Yeah. But I'd say a lot of it was social media as well.
social media, right? But Matt Rife's more of a happy accident. Matt Rife's thing was, he was somewhere where they hadn't even invited him. So he'd gone to Montreal because his mate was invited. He wasn't invited, but his mate convinced him to come along. They were sat for dinner. He's feeling a bit down on himself. And he's got this little stand-up video, and his mate's like, just post it, man. Just do it. What's going to happen?
Yeah, what's going to happen?
You're not going to lose anything by posting it. And he's like, all right, press send on TikTok. That video blows up to like next level, like 30 million views. And because he looks a certain way as well, it attracts even more, like, it attracts him a following and stuff immediately. And he's white and all the things, they do matter a little bit.
Yeah, they add up. Things add up.
All those things add on a little bit.
Standard.
Yeah. And so he's got all this thing, and then everything he does now has got this boatload of attention on it. And so he's built a whole platform from that. Andrew Schulz's example is more hard work.
Yeah.
In sort of, obviously Matt Rife's worked very hard. I'm not denying that. But I'm saying there's a big element of luck to that, because that might not have happened. Or it could have happened to someone else. Whereas Schulz has worked hard, recording videos, grafting, putting them on YouTube, slowly building. And Schulz went like this.
It was like a gradual one.
Yeah. Whereas Rife went like this.
Okay, just straight up.
Whereas so Schulz has got a lot more to back you up with.
Yeah.
And he's got these podcasts and things, and he's been working very hard. He's built a team around him who are equally working as hard as he is. Have I done that? No, I haven't done that. So even though the gatekeepers aren't giving Schulz these opportunities, because he's not getting booked in Hollywood. You might get the odd booking in Hollywood, but he's not a made man in Hollywood or New York or on these late night TV shows that they have in America. But he's made his own platform and he's made his own audience. And there's a lot of people who've done that, and I haven't done that. Yeah,
but I suppose it all depends on, where you want to be and what places you want to go to. Like if we look at Kevin Hart, he's gone down the Hollywood route and actor route and all that sort of stuff. Schulz,
but you say that like as if it was his choice. Do you get what I mean? As in he wanted to, and they've let him.
Yeah.
Schulz might have wanted to, but they said no. I might want to, they're going to say no to me. Someone else might want to, like a lot of people want to, but only there's a filter then in it.
Yeah.
And only like one or two will sneak through and become that Hollywood, whatever. The rest of us are then like, okay, let's pick up the pieces of what's left. And then there's people in the back of the line behind that who are like, there's no pieces left. What do I do?
But then I'd say
Schulz did it himself.
Okay, I'd say off the back of that then, with him doing it himself, he's branded himself perfectly and all that sort of stuff, right? But I'd say with the people who don't necessarily go through, let's just say we're talking about the Hollywood thing, and you approach them, they don't go for you, but they go for, let's just say Hamza in this example, Hamza Arjad.
Yeah.
But then you got to like say there's levels to it. So then surely that would make you think, okay, cool, I need to keep upping myself until they do say yeah, or you do what Schulz did and go your own direction and brand yourself and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So what is the route that you want to take?
Ideally, I'd like to take the Schulz route, I think, because I'd rather be master of my own destiny and in control of myself. And that way, they can't take that away from you. What Schulz has created, they can't take away from him.
Yeah, no, they can't, no.
Not unless he like commits some mad crimes or something, They can't take away from him what he's created because it's his audience. They're his YouTube followers. They're his podcast listeners. They're his ticket buyers. He's not relying on anyone except himself and his team.
Yeah.
Whereas with me, I'm kind of still reliant on these gatekeepers to throw me a crumb. And then that's what I want to get away from. Yeah, give me an odd crumb a year, I'll take it, yeah. But if that's all I've got, where's my longevity? So that's why I'm trying now to get into the space of like doing my own thing. And I need to find my online space, whether that's through a podcast, whether it's through 2 camera pieces, which I'm not comfortable with, and getting over that and just doing it. Because like with comedy, I wasn't good at it in 2010. I become good at it because I kept doing it.
Yeah.
So that same energy and hard work and graft and kicking my pride to the side, what I put into the open mic circuit and live stand up, I now need to put into the online space. But if I'm being true to myself, I haven't done it.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna say what I feel. This is not me advising you or anything like that.
No, bro.
Welcome to CEO Consultancy.
I'll take advice from all quarters,
I
bro.
feel like, me personally, just speaking on this, I feel like you just got to exploit online way more and all that sort of stuff. I'll give you an example. Last night when I was doing more research on you and all of that, type in TikTok, your name, Tez Ilyas. The things that come up are from like Live at the Apollo, right? And going back to the Matt Rife example, if you type in him, it's his own platforms, his own content coming up. So I feel like it's more of just exploiting as much as you can the online presence and just putting yourself in as many different places. Yes, still do the other things like the crumbs, get them, take them and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like just putting yourself out there, creating different platforms, whether you make your own podcast, whether you create your own comedy shows, whatever the case may be, just doing stuff like that, I feel like will take it to new heights. That's me. Yeah,
and you know what's funny? Like you're saying stuff to me that I know, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, that's exactly what I need to do. And so like, what's stopping me?
Okay, so we're talking about Schulz and building his own empire. Yeah. So you have been creating your own lane, but you've also gone into the acting career as well. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Okay. So tell me about your acting career.
That happened by accident, bro. Like people think that like, people are like, oh, how'd you get into acting and stuff? I'm like, bro, I've got no advice to give you because everything that I've ever done, you've seen me in, has come through stand-up. Yeah. So people see me do stand-up going, oh, we don't want to give you an opportunity to do X, Y, and Z. So that's what happened with that. Like Guz and me met in like 2015. We got on. And there's very few of us from our backgrounds in this industry, working class, Pakistani, not from down south. So we naturally just gravitate towards each other. So when we had opportunities to create work, we naturally thought about the other. So I had something, I put him in, he put me in Man Like Mobeen, that banged. Yeah. I put me in something else that didn't bang. You know, the couple of things that we put each other in that also didn't bang, the Man Like Mobeen was the one thing that did bang. And bro, I didn't know I could act. I'll be honest, like I thought I could, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't think like I'm an amazing actor, like I have a limited range, I can't do accents and stuff like that. So if you ask me to do a Scottish guy, I'd be like, bro, this is the voice, you got this voice? I can do emotions, I can be sad, happy, angry, but it'll be in this voice, innit? So I've got a limited range, but that role playing 8 in Man Like Mobeen was just fit me like a glove, bro. Like, and it was so much fun because they allowed us to do a lot of improv. So yeah, the script was written, we had certain lines, and then they gave us space to improvise. And because we know these characters better than, you know, the writers or the people behind the scenes. Like, Guz is one of the writers, but when you're putting pen to paper, it's not as real as when you're in the room talking. Yeah, for course. So because Guz is not from acting background as well, we pissed about a lot. Just improvising stuff. And so some of the best things in Man Like Mobeen came from us just being natural, and me thinking to myself, if I knew 8 in real life and he was from like Birmingham, Bradford, Blackburn or whatever, what would he say in this situation? And that's just what I try to do in all of these 8 maddest lines. I just try to do that.
Well, they've got normal banjos left.
Yeah, normal. The banjo thing was written, but then we added masala in.
Oh, that was written?
That was written, but then we added masala in. But like stuff like, what kind of thing? Like stuff like Dad. That episode where the priest is there and I'm like, what do you call him? He goes, Father. And I'm like, Dad. That was improvised. Because I'm like, what would 8 say in that situation? He's not going to call him Father, innit?
You're not going to call him Father,
yeah. He's going to be like Dad. He's going to misunderstand that. Yeah. And he's got his own logic, innit? So he's going to turn that into whatever he thinks is the right thing to say. So it's not that he's stupid. I mean, he's stupid. But it's not that he's stupid. It's that he's got his own logic going on in his own brain. He's got his own way of thinking. And he assumes he's always right, even though it's slightly off balance to what everyone else is thinking.
Look, comedy and acting is both a form of entertainment, yeah? But so what you're saying is they're completely different art.
Yes and no. I think the stand-up has definitely helped the acting. It's helped me be natural. It's given me internal confidence. It's allowed me to be more improvisational. I think if I was just pure actors, are not as good improvisers as comedians because they're so used to learning lines and delivering them. Like they come through acting school, they're used to doing Shakespeare. If you're doing Shakespeare, bro, you have to have every at the end of therefore. You have to have all of it, bro. A to Z in the right order. You can't piss about with Shakespeare lines. You can't be like, you can't throw a bro in there. Like it has to be A to Z. Every comma.
Well, like Romeo saying, bro.
Yeah, come on,
Julia, cost me, bro.
Julia, bro, come on, man. Like it has to be from the beginning to the end exactly how it's written. And if you're a trained actor, that's what you've trained to do. Whereas us lot, with no training, we're just pissing about. And we're like, but you wouldn't say it like that. He wouldn't say it like that, he'd say it like this.
Yeah. But so that's the fun of it.
So that's the fun that they allowed us to do that. And because Gus is one of the writers, he understands that as well because he's also not an actor, like a trained actor. I mean, so he also wants to do that as well. And so that was really, really fun about it. If I got a different, more dramatic role where the writer's very precious about their words and they're like, no, I want you to say exactly as it's written. There's no room for you throwing in your own dialogue on that. I don't know how good I'd be. I'd like to think I'd be good at it because I'm a professional. I do what I need to do. But I haven't been given the opportunity yet. And this is the thing, like people are like, oh bro, when's your next thing? Bro, I don't know innit. Like if you're a casting agent, put me in stuff in it. Like it's not up to me. Like I've tried to write my own stuff and make my own stuff and it gets to a certain development stage and then they decide no, they want to go with something else. And I've been through that merry-go-round as well, which is why I'm more in the space of like, I want to create my own stuff now.
I was going to say, what about making like your own YouTube series?
It's expensive, bro.
Yeah.
Like all that production cost is like to make an episode of Man Like Mobeen to that level, that BBC standard.
Yeah, that's expensive.
That's $250,000 an episode.
Yeah. Is it?
Per episode.
Is that what the budget was?
Per episode. And bro, that's a small budget.
Yeah.
For TV, that's a small budget.
That was a $250,000 episode budget. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's a small budget and we see barely any of that.
Yeah.
Like people also think like, because, I know we don't talk about money and I don't want to talk about money, but people think because you've been on stuff, you must be schminted. Bro, it's not America. People have American values in their mind, innit, when they think like, oh, Friends were getting £2 million an episode. Bro, it's nothing like that here. Nothing. I did a voiceover for Just Eat for Love Island, playing a scorpion, a lizard.
What?
Yeah, there's have you ever seen Love Island?
Oh no, I
don't watch Love Island either. But in between, like you watch TV, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes like you have sponsors for TV shows.
Yeah.
So Just Eat sponsored Love Island.
Yeah.
So before every advert break, there's a little bit in it before it goes into the advert, which is the Just Eat bit before it goes into the advert.
Yeah.
And I voiced over a lizard in that.
Okay.
Bro, it's a fun job, yeah.
Can you do that voiceover now?
Hang on, let me remember one of the lines because people watching going, shit, that was him, yeah. What was one of the lines? Bros before gatos.
What?
Bros before gatos.
What's gatos?
Gatos chocolate cakes.
Oh, is it?
Man's uncultured, innit? He doesn't know what a gato is.
I don't know what a gato is. Okay, it's a type of cake.
Yeah.
I thought you meant it as a brand.
Everything we're doing was that kind of food related.
I couldn't understand the Blackburn accent.
Yeah, that's true. It is my accident. It's like bros before gatos. I remember that being one of my lines. But anyway, I got paid more for that. So I did it twice. No, I did it 3 times. But 2 of those, and bear in mind, it's half a day's work.
Yeah.
Each one of them was half a day's work.
What, just to say that one line?
It wasn't the one line, it was the whole recording session.
Yeah.
Like, because it was a few things. But that half a day's work, 2 of those paid me more than all of Man Like Mobeen that I did.
No way.
Yeah.
But maybe because it's just a much bigger program, they're going to get a lot more revenue.
Yeah, there's different money in advertising
yeah,
and stuff, But I'm saying like, people think that because you've been on a certain thing that, this guy's balling, bro. It's not the case in this country.
Okay, so I'm going to get into something we just mentioned there, yeah? America. Now, we look at the size of the UK. I've mentioned this in many podcasts before. Size of the UK and the size of America is completely different. America probably fit 100 times of the UK.
Bro, the UK is smaller than New York State.
Yeah, literally.
And New York State is not one of the big states.
Yeah, I know.
So we're tiny. The thing, think of US as Europe. If Europe was one country,
then safe.
with all the different states, that's the USA.
Yeah.
So you can't compare this country to the US in any way whatsoever.
Okay, so then you already know where I'm going with this question. Expanding into the US.
I don't know, bro. We'll see in it. I think one thing that holds me back is my lack of ability to do accents. So I can't just easily fit in like an Idris Elba and like I think I just go into an American show playing an American because bro, I just can't do accents.
Who says you have to do accents?
Maybe. There's no TV show I've ever seen in my life in America that has someone with this voice. If they're casting that guy, if you're casting, next show you're making and you need a guy with this voice, bro, I'm your guy.
Americans don't
There's
even
no
know
one in the
Blackburn
US
is.
that has this voice on an American TV show film.
Americans can meet someone from Birmingham and be like, oh, you're from London?
Yeah, right. They all sound the same to them. But bro, if they want to put me in something, no one's stopping them. I ain't stopping them, certainly. So yeah, that'd be nice, bro. I would like to go over there and do some stand-up though.
This is the way I look at it, because if you look at, we're going back in the day to, as you said, Supergirl was the name. Supergirl, wasn't it?
Yeah, Superwoman.
Superwoman, Fousey Tube, all these lot, they all started off with skits. Though they're not stand-up comedians, but the market for Asian / Middle Eastern funny people is there.
Yeah,
clearly,
for
right?
sure,
And look at where they are now. They've gone so far ahead.
What's Fousey up to?
I don't know what he's up to now, but I know he's built up to a
I
following.
know Superwoman's doing that chat show on that.
Yeah, she's doing massive.
Yeah.
Fousey has over 10 million subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
I know that for a fact, so he's massive. And there's probably so many others as well that I'm not really mentioning or failed to mention. But my point is, the market is massive. The market is good for it.
Yeah,
There.
but this is me not having a proper business head, isn't it?
Yeah. Because do you know what, the way I looked at it, yeah, I saw something. This is musically, yeah. An artist in one state. So you know how you have the biggest popular artist here in the UK, yeah?
Right.
Let's just take...
Let's say Stormzy.
Let's just say Stormzy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's equivalent to a state artist in the US.
Yeah.
Meaning one artist who's only known in Texas is the same size as Stormzy.
Bigger. Because Texas is bigger than the UK.
That's what I'm saying, yes. Texas is bigger than the UK. So it's like, even if you conquered one state in the US,
Yeah.
let it be New York, let it be LA, wherever the case is,
Yeah, Michigan.
it's like, it can take things to a whole different height.
Yeah. It's food for thought.
I wanna
Like,
go
I'm not
to
saying
America.
no. I'm just saying, like, I would like to go to the US, but I think also it's about calibrating because I'm very British, bro. In my comedy as well, I'm very British.
Yeah.
And British people, whether you're Asian or white or black or whatever flavor you are, there is a distinct British sense of humor, which doesn't always travel to the US.
Yeah. So they might not understand some of the jokes
They might
you're
not
saying.
get the dry sense of humor and stuff. They're like, oh, is he making a statement or a joke? Like, we can't tell you. Like, no, that was a joke, motherfucker. Like, like in Britain, you'd understand that cadence in it. You'd get that. Oh, this guy's being sarcastic. It's being a bit dry.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it. Whether you find it funny is whatever, but you'd understand what he's trying to do. In America, I feel like you probably got to stay there for 6 months and just calibrate your
just
calibrate
adjust.
yourself to them, to their language, to their cadence, to their sarcasm and
Just
stuff like that.
analyze everything in
Just
the
so you
world.
know that what you're saying on stage, they understand that where the joke is, where the punchline is.
Yeah.
Because I'm very British in my delivery.
That's a good point, actually. That's right. You would have to kind of stay there for a while just to see what's what and work things out.
Like if you took like a street artist, like in music, like a grime artist from here, and you played it in America, but they wouldn't understand half of it.
No,
because the street language is completely different.
Yeah, literally. But they go, I'm not even going to bother mentioning about music and stuff like that because they just go off like the actual...
Exactly. How many UK artists actually properly cross over to the US?
There's only one I could think of.
Not loads, bro.
Yeah.
Not loads.
One or two. But, yeah. It's a market to explore, nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. It's not something that I'm ruling out.
Yeah.
It's something that I'd love to try and explore. I definitely want to go over there and do stand-up or something.
I'll travel with you. Because I want to do podcasts out there as well. So we could both give it a shot.
All right, yeah.
Why not?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. 2024 is literally tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's the plan for the year? Like, what are you going to do? What's the plan?
Well, I'm on tour.
Yep.
From September to November. And you know what, bro? Everything I do, everything I want to do is to sell more tickets. I want people to come out to see me because I think I'm a very good stand-up comedian. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I'm Messi or Ronaldo of comedy, yeah. But I think I'm very, very good at it, yeah.
Tonight, I'm going to be that guy sitting in the audience.
Just going.
That's all right.
He's not like the Godfather impression.
Yeah. For the audience that don't know, we're going to see Tez after this live.
So I want people to come see me. I'm on tour from September to December, all over the country, from Glasgow to Brighton and London, everywhere in between, right?
Yeah.
That's what. So everything that I do, whether it's the things that I'm talking about, right, to create, because everything that Schulz does. Sorry to keep using that example.
No, but I feel like he inspires you a lot though, which is a good thing.
But everything he does
is
to sell those big shows that we now see on Instagram. Yeah. Because boy, he wasn't doing that 5 years ago.
Yeah, no, not at all, no.
5 years ago, he was still playing the clubs and he was recording them and pouring them on.
Online.
And then now and again, he'd do a little bit of himself online. And obviously he's got his podcasts, which are huge.
Yeah.
So let's not belittle those because those are big, right? But now what he's doing now and playing those big rooms and Madison Square Garden and going to Saudi and then going to Dubai and playing the biggest room in Dubai and stuff, right? Everything he does is so he can do that. Everything he does is so that people around the world, and for me right now it's UK, but that would be nice, is to sell those tickets, is advertising yourself online whether it's through shows you've done or through new things that you're creating or through podcasts or whatever, to showcase yourself and be like, come on, buy a ticket, man.
Yeah, it's all a funneling system.
Come on, buy a ticket, man.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, buy a ticket, bro.
Yeah, literally.
That's all of it's that. And that's what I want people to come see my shows, because I think I'm very, very good. And like, I wish I had this when I was younger. I wish I had guys like me on the circuit that I could have seen advertised and gone, raw. Yeah, let's go see my man Tez and that. That's what I want, bro. I want people to come and see my shows.
No, hopefully, inshallah, you get it, man.
Inshallah, bro.
Are the tickets available and all that?
Yeah, TezIlyas.com.
I'm gonna leave them in the description.
Please do, bro.
I'm gonna buy some. Gonna buy my whole team.
Hackney Empire in London. Don't know.
Hackney Empire. Anywhere else in London?
No, the big shows. But this is the thing, right? So I want to sell that show so I can put another show on.
Okay.
But my ticket buyers buy the tickets last minute, bro. So if you're buying tickets last minute, I can't put another show on because they all come out.
You got to see the demand for it.
Right. They all come out eventually. But I'm like, if you buy them early, I can put another show on.
Yeah.
And what a good look that is for me. But if you're buying them all the last minute, then I can't put another show on.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do is that one show.
How hard is it to organise a whole tour? Is this the first tour you're doing?
It's my third one.
Third one?
So I'm saying, bro.
Oh, so
we're treading water.
On the first one, how hard was that?
Hard.
Yeah.
But then it's you know, like people will follow you on Instagram or TikTok, well not TikTok back then, but Twitter and stuff, and they'll come out to see you and stuff, and you keep that following. You lose some, you get some more, and it kind of goes up a bit. You know how it goes up and down like that. Like it goes steadily rises, but it waves up and down a bit, like the market.
Yeah.
To show you that.
No, look at like stock market.
To show you that know what I'm talking about. Like it goes up and down like that, and so you lose a few followers, you get more followers, and then over time it steadily increases. I haven't done that thing yet where I've gone boom like that, which is what I'm hoping to do.
Yeah.
But also in that, it's got to be authentic, right? It's got to be stuff that people resonate with and people like and stuff. So I've got to think more of like, how can I showcase the personality, my personality that creases my friends up, that makes my wife laugh in hysterics. How can I channel that online?
How do you think of new content and new jokes for each tour? Because I can imagine if I was a comedian, I'd probably rinse the same jokes that I was rinsing 5 years ago.
You do that. There's a bit of that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So if you see the same comedian twice in the space of probably 18 months to 3 years, likelihood is going to be very, very similar.
But surely
unless you see him in that transition phase, likelihood is going to be the same thing. But eventually, if you're a good comedian anyway, you start phasing the old stuff out and the new stuff starts coming in.
Yeah.
And you just hope and you have that faith that the new stuff is going to be as good as the old stuff. Because sometimes, bro, you write stuff and you're like, I don't think I'm going to ever write anything better than this.
Yeah.
But then you do.
So you're going on tour next year. I think you said it starts in September, right?
This year, by the time people start listening.
This year, so
2024.
2024.
Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
When did you start writing for that tour?
My last tour was 2021, finished December 2021. So between then and now, I've been accumulating a bit of material. It's not a show yet, but I've been accumulating a bit of material. But now that goes into overdrive.
Okay.
So it's now looking at what I've got.
Yep.
And going, okay, I feel like this, maybe half of it, maybe all of it, maybe half of it, maybe 10% of it is good enough, I think, to be in a show that I want to put my name to. And then from then it's just overdrive. What do I want to talk about? There's been changes to my personal circumstances since I last went on tour, got married, etc. There's been changes in the world, in politics, in stuff around us. All the stuff that I talk about generally, myself, politics, things that I've noticed. There have been big changes around the world, and in my personal life, in those things. So it's like getting all those things and seeing what are the topics in these things that I want to talk about, and then just rinsing the jokes in them and then practicing them up until the moment that the tour hits, and you're like hoping that you have your 60 minutes ready. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's big stage time. If you shot on tour, you got a lot of stage time. Like for example, you said tonight you're going to be performing, let's just say 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes. Yeah.
And when you're on your tour, you're going to have a lot more stage time.
It's more like an hour and a half.
How do you actually work a crowd for that long?
Practice, bro. Practice. When you started this podcast, did you think, you must have thought to yourself first couple of episodes, correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume so. You must have gone, how am I going to interview someone for an hour?
That was great.
Straight off the bat, innit? Straight off the bat, smashing through the covers,
No, I still think about that day to day now as well.
Right? You got to think, I've got to not drag this out, but you think to yourself, I've got an hour, maybe an hour and a half to fill.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you think, was that episode too short? Like, you think that, right?
Yeah, you
got
to find the right balance between, making sure.
But eventually, through experience, you just know you're going to do it.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is work in a crowd. You got, like, when you go on stage, you've got to go off the energy off the crowd. Now, for example, we spoke about this in the car just briefly just now, right? You're going to have another comedian who's going on stage and you're going to be the last one to
I'm the last one of 5.
Last one of 5 to do their act. So this audience now are going to be sat there for, they started at 6.
Probably 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
By the time I go on stage.
So 3.5 hours of them laughing their head off. By the time you get on the stage, their energy is going to be depleted, bro. So it's like, how do you get their energy to come back up? You're going, if that's what I'm saying, it's pressure, because if you're the last one going on there, you're thinking, oh, flip, okay, now I've got pressure because this.
And I'm the headliner. I'm built up as that. Like, yo, guys, you've enjoyed this, yeah? Wait till you see this guy.
And everyone comes up, oh, it's Tez Ilyas.
Yeah. No, I don't let them do that, bro. I do not let them bring me onto that, bro. Like, Atif, the MC, lovely guy, a good friend of mine, very good comedian. I make sure he does a build up before I go on, because he knows he's an experienced comedian. He knows what to do, so he knows what his job is. And his job is, he's the MC, right? His job is to build them up for me. So he's training them throughout the whole show. You still got your headline act coming. You still got you still got the acts in the second half or each side. So he's doing that throughout the thing. And then when it is my turn, he's like, guys, I've been telling you all evening. This is the moment you've been waiting for. All right, get your glasses down, put your hands together, make as much noise, right? First row, second row, third row. All those little tricks that we've learned over the years to get an audience going. He'll do that before I come on. Then I come on to my big music, big energy, get that first 30 seconds energized up. I might not do that in a normal show, but because I know this audience has been sat there for 3.5 hours, I have to do that to just get their adrenaline flowing again, so then I can launch into my jokes. And then just make sure that first 4 or 5 minutes is very strong off the bat, so that then they are with me then for the next 20. Because if that first 2-3 minutes is weak, like 20 more minutes of this, Oh, I thought he was better than this, you know. I swear I saw him on TikTok and this is funnier than this. You don't want that. And that can happen at any time. Because on this tour, bro, it's happened a couple of times where like you're going on so late and their energy is so depleted. And sometimes your energy is depleted as well. Because if you're sat there in that green room for 3.5 hours, bro, you're dead by the end of it. Because you're like, I don't have the energy.
So you thought, let's do a podcast instead.
That's why I thought I'd do a podcast. Do this, distract myself in some great company, play a game of chess, and then go and do my thing in it.
Do you have like, you know, when you're just about to get on stage, do you have like a routine to energize yourself? Or you're just like, I'm going.
I used to back in the day when I first started, because like, you know, back in the day I didn't have the practice in it, I didn't have the muscle memory and all that. I was like, bro, I was shadow boxing, like just be on the stage, just
looking in the mirror, I'm the man.
All that, But now I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. This is a big gig, a big TV gig, or like a gig that matters for my career or something.
Then the nerves kind of kick in.
The nerves will kick in, because that's automatic in it. But just for like 99% of gigs are not that. It just work. I'm going to work.
Going to work.
Right. I'm going to go put my shift night. I'm going to put my 30-minute shift in now. So I'll see when I come off stage and that I'm bare relaxed. And then you just hope that. But it does happen though, most of the time anyway. As soon as you walk on stage, boom, adrenaline rush.
I'm going to transition this point into the dark sides of comedy, right?
All right, go on.
Because we touched on it earlier, but just to finish off what you just said there. So you just said there, 30-minute shift. Yeah. Do you ever compare like how life is now compared to you working in that 9 to 5?
Yeah. Because my life is sick, bro.
Yeah, but it's going to come with its cons as well.
Of course it does. Like, what people don't see about comedy is how lonely it is. Because you're driving city to live stand-up anyway. It's different obviously if you're online, but live stand-up, and it's actually online as well, because they're not seeing the graph behind the videos, and then that video, and then if it bombs, your little face sad in the mirror and that going, I put all that my effort and soul into that video and no one, you know what I mean. But like no one sees those lonely drives from city to city, and they might think it's a bit glamorous because you're staying in these hotels, and then it's not, man. You're driving into a city, you check in, you get ready, you go to the show, you do the show, you get something to eat, you go back to the hotel, you might watch a bit of Netflix, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, check out, have some lunch, go to the next place.
Bro, it's so funny you say this.
That's all you do.
Yeah, it's so funny you say this, because in before I got this studio, that's exactly what I was doing. You drive to a city, you do a podcast, you eat, you go back to the hotel, whatever, and you check out, till it gets to a point where all your friends around you, you may be able to relate to this as well. They still work. Obviously, besides the people you meet in the industry, they still work normal 9 to 5s. So you can't just bring your friends along. You can't say, look, come, I'm going to Manchester this weekend. Let's go.
Like, I've got
work. I've got a kid. I've got a baby now. That's his excuse apparently. But it's they're still here. But it's all these things, and then it definitely becomes lonely, and it's almost to a point where I felt like the audience who I was doing this for kind of become your friends. So then for me, naturally, I was that person that grew up on my phone, right? So it's more natural for me to do this than it probably is for you. But for me to talk to followers, whatever the case is, it's probably easier. So in the time where you're feeling lonely, how do you actually deal with that?
I mean, that's the case now because I'm married, in it, and so my wife comes to like majority of my shows now.
Oh, does it actually?
Yeah, so it's really nice, and also because I thought like obviously we want to start a family at some point. Before that, because at that point, then it'll be a lot more difficult for her to come out and stuff. So before we get to that point in the honeymoon period, let's enjoy each other's company as much as possible. Before that, bro, you know, one of the things that I spoke to her about when we met is like, you know what, when you have a rubbish show, that is difficult, but you're in your own head about it. You kind of almost don't want someone there. Because they're like, oh, I'll be all right. And you're like, yeah, no. Like, you're irritable, innit?
Yeah.
You almost don't want someone there. It's the good shows, bro.
Where you want to share that energy with
someone. Smash it on stage and you feel like 10 men and you've got 200, 300 people like just cheering you off or whatever, clapping you off, whatever, yeah. And then you feel like the man on that. And then you go out the door, the wind hits you in the face and you're on your own. And you're like, or you're on a bus home or tube home or car journey home. And you're like, bro, I've got no one to share this with. That's shit, bro.
Yeah.
That is shit. But alhamdulillah, now I have that. And I'm blessed for it. But yeah, man, that is hard. That is hard. And also in this industry, like we have our friends and stuff and, you know, you'd be happy for people and stuff. But there's a small part of your brain, bro, in that part of your brain that you can't control. That's like, how did they get that? How come? They got that? They got that, yeah. Not you. Oh, okay. Maybe find out how they got it, and because that probably should have been you on that, innit? And you want to switch that part of your brain. And I've become much better at switching that part of my brain off. And you start remembering that whatever you're looking at other people are looking at you and going, oh, wow, he's lucky to have got that, innit? So as much as you're looking at other people are looking at you. And there might be stuff in your life that you've got that maybe you shouldn't have got at the time and you got it ahead of your time. Or there's stuff that maybe you deserve to get, but it just didn't happen for you because it wasn't meant for you. And you got to switch that part of your brain off, bro. That part of your brain that's like just evil, bro. That evil part of your brain that's like, I don't think they deserve that.
How do you switch it off? Because I'm asking this because I have this at times as well.
We all have it, bro. Anyone who works any job has that. Whether it's through a promotion or an invitation to an event or whatever. We all have it, bro. Or even in real life, we have it in life as well. There's life, you know, that anyone who's like in the dating game or trying to find someone, they'll have that as well. We all have it, bro. In business as well, especially, I guess. You gotta just train yourself to do it, bro. Like I'm Muslim, so I have that kind of. I've lived like the pandemic taught me that because, you know, so many things were taken away from us, and it kind of put the brakes on my career a little bit. The pandemic, and I came out of it not on the same trajectory that I was on when I came into the pandemic, and so I could sit here and mourn about it, innit? But like, still gotta live my life. Still gotta keep trying. And is that Islamic philosophy of what is meant for you will happen?
Yeah, will be yours.
And if it's not meant for you, you can kick and scream and try as much as you want.
It's risk, isn't it?
It won't. Yeah. And all I can, it's risk exactly. Is qismat. So I will keep, all I can promise myself is I will keep trying. And the things that are meant for me will happen for me.
Yeah.
But then I have to also be honest with myself and be like, there's some things that I haven't properly tried. Like I'm talking about the online space.
Yeah.
I really haven't given that a proper go. Not in the way that I gave live stand-up comedy a go. And part of it is because I'm older as well. And online is a bit more exposing. Like if you're in a room full of 20, 30, 40 people like back in the open mic days and you died and no one's laughed at your show, the only people that know that are the people in that room. Right? That's it. Whatever. They probably don't even remember your name.
Yeah.
And they're comedians, but that's what happened to them anyway. So like whatever. That's a bit of schadenfreude that you have with each other. Everyone in the industry has that anyway. But the people in that room probably don't even remember who you are because you didn't make them laugh anyway. So it's fine. You're just that Asian guy who didn't make them laugh. Fine. You can forget about it, innit?
Yeah.
But then when you put it online, and now especially in my position where I have a bit of an audience, like not the biggest audience, but I do have an audience on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Of course, yeah. Like your kind of expectation is that your videos should be banging because you've got numbers. Like you've got a bit of a following. So why are your numbers so low? Why is your video not banging? And then you feel shit about it because you're like, oh, this is how I felt back in the open mic days.
That's what we call the engagement trap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Instead of thinking about how I did back in the day for comedy, for stand-up, which was just do what you enjoy.
Yeah.
If they laugh, they laugh. If you're good at this, people will come. You'll find your audience. But I'm not doing that with online because I'm too in my head about it.
Yeah.
I'm too like, in that engagement trap. That's a beautiful way of putting it. I'm too much like, oh, but if that video doesn't bang, that's embarrassing, man. on the effort and I don't enjoy doing it and what am I doing this for? Ultimately, I know what I want out of it, but I'm not putting the hard yards to get it.
Do you know, it's funny because I came out of the engagement trap not too long ago. Cause I was stuck in it for a while, I'll be honest with you. All you're looking at is numbers. Is this doing well? Is this podcast we're doing right now, is it going to do numbers and all that sort of stuff? And it can queue up properly long term, because if you don't get the numbers you're predicting, your mental health is gone through the roof.
And also you're demotivated.
Yeah, and you're demotivated for the next one. So you're thinking, oh, I'm here now. You know what, Tez, it's not even going to get that many numbers. But how are you doing, bro? Like, what's your life story? Like, exactly. All of that. But as soon as you come out of that and you do this for the reason why you started in the first place, which is the fact that you love it and you enjoy it, and you're doing it for just for that one person or that two people to laugh, or in my case, for watch and get some value, then you enjoy it again. And then somehow, some way, all the numbers and everything pick back up because it's now...
Because it's authentic,
It's
bro.
authentic.
Authentic,
it's natural
innit? That's the truth.
Yeah.
You're not doing this for like, oh, what will that kid in Milton Keynes who listens to this, what does he want to hear? You're giving him what he wants to hear.
Yeah, literally.
He's coming on your journey. He's coming to you.
Yeah.
You're not going to him.
Exactly.
And that's what I want. But I need to find my online mojo.
I think we need to exchange skills, because I wouldn't say I've conquered fully the online space, but I've done well, alhamdulillah, and you've done well, like, alhamdulillah, live. And I'm trying to go more down the live route in this year, 2024, coming up, doing live events and all that sort of stuff. So I think I'm going to need you there and all of that. Okay. And I'm going to need you. Also, you're going to need me for online. So maybe we can help each other out.
Okay.
But look, Tez, we've spoken about a lot on this podcast. Any final notes you want to leave for your audience or anything? I know we got to get back shortly to comedy.
No, man. I hope people who've watching this enjoy listening to it. Subscribe to the CEOCAST, man, because he's a good brother, man, having amazing conversations. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for distracting me from that show and sitting. And I'm joking, for inviting me to this beautiful setup, man. Alhamdulillah, I'm inspired by you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm inspired. Look how much graft you've put in, and look how far you've come in 3 years.
Yeah, well, 4 years now, yeah.
4 years, yeah. And but look how far you've come, bro. And that's inspiring to me. And I'm like, if I properly give that online space a proper go in the way that I gave stand-up a go 13 years ago, then I'll get closer to the place that I want to be, which is selling out these big rooms all over the country.
But I feel like you're a great example of the fact that it's never too late.
Of course.
Because someone at 27 who wants to be a comedian now might think, oh, do you know what? It's already past. I'm in my 9 to 5. I'm going to get married in the future. I'll just stay here in this lane, and doesn't explore the options that they actually love or want to try.
Nothing is too late, man. Apart from if you want to be an athlete, maybe 27 is too late for that. Yeah. But like now, it's not too late, man. I was 27, stuck in a job that I enjoyed but didn't love, and pure kismat, it was meant to happen. I came across a stand-up workshop, and I could have said no. On a different day, a different month, a different headspace, I might have said no. But in that moment, I said yes.
Yeah.
And here I am 13 and a half years later, in a position where people really enjoy what I do, and me being in a position where I want to be, that's my own thing.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, people gas me every single day, telling me how much I enjoyed them, people telling me how I got them through lockdown, people telling me how much they love me, man, like Mobeen, people buying tickets to my show, and can never take that for granted, bro. It's amazing that people, I came up from a 2 up, 2 down in Blackburn, with a school with a GCSE pass rate of 30%. And people are buying tickets to come see me speak. That's mad, bro.
That is sick. It's almost like life goes full circle.
Alhamdulillah, man. It's crazy that. And sometimes, like I've spoken a bit on this podcast. I don't want that to be the sort of thing that I leave people with, that like, oh, the guy's mourning that he's not in the position that he wants to be. But that's all of us, innit? All of us strive for more. But alhamdulillah, bro, for the things that I've achieved and how far I've come along, like I have to also be very, very proud of myself.
Yeah, of course, bro. You have to give yourself a pat on the back. You have to. It's funny because, like you said there, we live in a world where, as people who are on their own journeys and trying to strive for better, to do better for themselves, we live in a balance of, okay, yes, I want the next level, but we also have to kind of take ourselves out of our own shoes, put ourselves in other shoes, and look at our lives and be like, you know what? I'm very, very grateful for this.
Very grateful.
But then it's dangerous as well, because if you do that too much, then you become too content and you don't strive for the next level.
Yeah. You don't want to be complacent.
It's like you got to put it on a seesaw and try and find the right balance, but it's hard, man. It's hard.
Be grateful and keep looking forward and working.
That's it. What means the most to you right now, at this current point in time?
Oh, without being that soppy guy, bro. My family, my wife, my mum, like time at home. That is probably what means the most to me. That's right now. That's what you value the most. Yeah.
I mean, you've been on the road for what, 17 days, you said, right?
Yeah. So
you've gone this time without seeing him, or is your wife with you?
No, so my wife's come down to London because my in-laws don't live that far out of London.
Yeah.
So she's been with me for the last week or so.
Okay, sick.
But yeah, that's kind of what I value the most.
Yeah, I bet in times like this where you're on tour, you just can't wait to go home and just like 100%. Be with your family.
Don't get me wrong, a little breakaway with the boys and that is no bad thing either.
Yeah.
But there's only so much of that you can take.
That's your excuse for the boys' holiday, isn't it?
There's only so much of that you can take as well.
Yeah, Fez. Tez, I want to thank you very much for coming on the podcast, bro.
Thank you.
And if people enjoyed it, where can they find you?
TezIlyas.com is where to get my tickets for my show.
Yep.
And at Tez Ilyas everywhere else. And if you want to follow me, I hang around in Blackburn. Just come and stalk me.
Make sure you buy the tickets for Tez Ilyas's tour in September 2024. I'm going to make sure I'm there. I'm going to put the dates in the description as to when I'm there. I'll probably come to multiple, to be fair. I'm going to bounce all over the UK, so I might as well just come. Make sure you get them tickets.
You might be opening for me by then, all the live training you're going to do between now and then.
Yeah, I'll tell you, how much are tickets?
£25.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy 10 tickets. If you comment you comment your best thing about Tez's journey so far, and I'll buy 10 tickets. 10 of you will get chosen at random.
Oh, wow.
And I'll buy, we don't do this much.
Wow, that's nice.
Pakistan's hurting right now, but the growth for me is like, we got to do this.
Okay, no, I appreciate that, bro.
So 10 tickets for free. 10 tickets on me for Tez's tour in 2024. This is such a tongue twister. It's too many T's in this.
There's a lot of T's there.
Too many T's in this. Just comment your favorite thing about Tez's journey with your Instagram username, and I'll make sure to pick 10 of you to come along. And until then, I'll catch you lot, guys, on the next episode of CEOCAST next Sunday. I hope you lot all have an amazing 2024, reach your goals, and follow Tez.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, people. Great.
Cheers, bro. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was good, yeah.
Thank you for tuning into this episode. If you want to watch another one that you may like, make sure you click up here. Or if you want to check out the playlist for the other podcasts, make sure you click here. And click up here to subscribe to CEOCAST.